Right. I think we're live. Hi, I'm Deanne Battle. This is a talk show, and it's called The Composite. Welcome. We're at season 3, episode 12. I'm going to start with story time. Okay. So I said I was going to go live at 2:30. Okay. So what happens? I think at like 1:55, I find this. What is this? It was my favorite shirt. I mean, like, unreasonably. Anytime, I would come back from work or whatever, like, I was just putting this on because it was just the most comfortable thing, and just the fabric, the way it draped on me. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get more of this, but I just didn't get around to it. And there was like a piece, because there was like an O-ring to connect the fabric, and then a piece in the back caught on something and it ripped. And I was like, oh no, because that little piece of fabric, like, I don't know what happened to it. So there's the strap, the O-ring, and just, it was just hanging. And I'm like, damn it. So technically I should have thrown this away 2 years ago, but I was just like, no, it's my favorite shirt and I can't get another one because they don't sell it anymore. So like, how can I fix it? So today at 1:55, I'm like, there it is, sitting on a top of a pile of clothing. I know I'm going live, and I really want to, I want to be laid back today. It was a little heavy at a couple of points yesterday. I was like, I want to be like laid back. I was like, oh, it's like blankie, get my favorite shirt together. Y'all, I broke out the needle and thread. Excuse me. I think I have food stuck in my teeth. Another fun fact, I went to boarding school. And so when I was 14 and 15, we had pretty classic, strict prep school dress. And so, I'd be like waking up in the morning, starching and ironing my clothes and sewing. But something's gone horribly wrong, because I don't want to turn around and like show you, but when I tell you this thing back here is janky, it's like, that's an understatement. I was like, because, I threaded the needle and I'm just like, okay, this is enough thread. So what I wanted to do was kind of camouflage that I was looping the thread through the O-ring to reattach it. And so I did 4 passes, and the 5th pass, the needle got stuck. So I was just like, oh, what did I do? And so the more I tried to like pull the needle through, and then that didn't work. So I tried to pull the needle back, and then all that happened is that the thread knotted and jumbled in a heap. So back here, there is an O-ring connected to a piece of fabric, and then there's just a heap of crappy thread just kind of around it. How is this relevant? Can I get a do-over on adulthood? Just like a class, like, okay, here's how to care for your clothes. Here's some things to know about cooking. And I mean, I do cook, but there are certain things that, hacks, if you will, that I'll see online. Like this woman, she took a spaghetti strainer, and usually, the way I've always seen it is like, okay, spaghetti's boiling and stuff like that. And then you put the strainer either over the sink or over another pot, and then you pour it in. That's not what she did. She put the strainer into the same pot and then turned everything upside down. And I was like, oh snap, I never knew that you could do that. Why I didn't know that, I'm not going to speak to that. I don't know. There are just certain things, I think, because, and I've mentioned this a few episodes ago, that I feel like since the end of March for me, this energy field has been really opening up, just in general. Like, I just feel more dialed in. So there's that. But then also on top of that, I think because I have fewer teaching duties. I'm still teaching, but I'm not teaching as many students this semester. I'm not under duress, and I feel more connected to common sense. than I was for a while. I just felt like I was in survival mode. And so I don't think like my higher cognitive functions were working. And so I'm sitting here and then there's this jumble of thread connecting the fabric. And I'm like, I need to take better care of myself, like in deliberate and slow ways. So if there is anyone that is interested in re-adulting online, like in just, I don't know, once every couple of weeks, we can be like, hey, here's this thing. Like, what would be a good thing? No, I know how to ride a bike. That's like, kid stuff. But I'm thinking about stuff like, what do people take for granted? Like, so I don't know how to tie a tie. And, excuse me, I haven't worn one. So I haven't necessarily needed to, but I think that's important. Like, I do want to have a family. So it's like, oh, that's something that I should know how to do. I don't know how to do it. Or other things. Oh, I saw my mom doing this. She stayed with me for a little while last year when she was in town visiting. How to fold a fitted sheet. Yeah, stuff like that, right? So if people like are interested in just a couple of topics, and then we can just, I don't know, either talk it through or demonstrate it, I would love to do that, because what I find is the older I get, my impulse is to make my life smaller and simpler. And I didn't think that that was going to happen. It's really remarkable. It's like, it's just like, yeah, I'm going to do all these things and go all these places and have all this stuff. And now I'm like, okay, my neck is not hurting today. That is awesome. I paid a bill. I properly sewed my shirt. So there's like something, I think, satisfying in that, in harnessing and channeling my energy into small, discrete things that care for me. Another thing that I want to do this spring, I do want to, I bought this little garden tower. Excuse me. Oh, I thought I had to sneeze. Oh, well. I bought this little garden tower, and I have these seeds, and then I moved, and I've been holding on to this shit for like 2 years. Like, it's time to like plant a garden. It's time to just, root and care for myself. So that's story time. That's something that I was thinking about. But yeah, I'm so glad, like, I don't want to show you my scaly back because this shirt, it's struggling. It's really funny. I think what I'm going to do is just kind of snap it off later and then take the thread, watch a YouTube video on how to properly sew, and then get my life together. Okay? So I hope everybody's doing well this afternoon. Here's what I want to do. I liked yesterday's format really well. No, I thought yesterday's format went really well too. So I'm going to pursue that again. So what does that mean? That means quick tarot cards. That means a couple of poems, and that means a headline check. Trying to keep it on the lighter side as we navigate whatever we're navigating. Okay, so I shuffled twice. Let me shuffle again. Oop. I have to shuffle an odd number of times. Cut the cards. Okay. Maybe I'll ask for some advice in relationship to story time, right? So how do we phrase that? What advice can you give us? Okay. Rephrase. What's one thing we should prioritize to care for ourselves today? Okay. What's one thing we should prioritize to care for ourselves today? All right. Oops. Thank you. That's a good one. Oops. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Ooh, okay. I just want to show you, and then we've got Eight of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. I don't think I showed the bottom of the deck last time. All right, so a couple of things. I want to show you the deck so you can see, like, I'm not like doing. Oh no, wasn't trying to show that. Sorry, I just wanted to show you like cards. That didn't work. Ignore it. So I want to show you, like, oh, I'm not doing any funny business, right? So I'm going to put the deck to the side. But why is this valid? Because sometimes, like, when you see a card on the bottom of the deck, if you're looking at it, it can inform the overall reading. So this is interesting, right? Because the Eight of Pentacles is like mastery and hard work, right? So if you think of like a blacksmith or a carpenter, anything was just like step by step, diligent building, right? So this is, in my mind, the diligent builder card. Okay, so how does that relate to what I have here? Because look what we got. We got the Two of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the High Priestess, right? So what does that mean? So first of all, let me do the math on this. So what's interesting is, from a numerology standpoint, right? Notice the beginning and the end. You've got two twos. And so I don't know as much about like how that's relevant, but it's just, the same number repeating. And then also, the match between the major and minor arcana. So basically like a big change and a small change, they're both coming up as the same number. All right. But when I add all of this up, because the Wheel of Fortune is 10, that gives us 14, which breaks down to 5, right? 5, change and conflict, right? So things are in motion. We're kind of like at a halfway point. But, right, Two of Cups is love and partnerships, right? Wheel of Fortune in the upright is good luck, a good turn of fortune. And the High Priestess is subconscious knowledge, your intuition. So what do we prioritize caring for ourselves today? Okay. Here's what's speaking to me. I think Spirit is telling us, and thank you, Spirit. I think Spirit's telling us, right, that today, as we care for ourselves, in order to care for ourselves, what we need to prioritize is I'm trying to figure out a good way to do this. We want to prioritize our inner knowing that this is important, right? We have an inherent knowing that partnerships, that love brings us luck, brings us our fortune, in not strictly in a monetary sense, but in a sense of spiritual abundance, right? So today we're being asked to really think about how partnerships provide, in our minds, we know, right, underneath, in a deeper sense, we know that partnerships are providing this abundance. So that's, something to think about. I was thinking of something else. No, that's what I have for right now. Like I'd mentioned before, I can do the cards individually, but the story part of it, I'm still developing. But that's what I'm feeling here, right? So 2 days in a row, this is awesome because I'm asking super positive questions and I'm getting super positive cards. I like that. Like, if I were to be like, ooh, what should we prioritize today for caring for ourselves? And then this shit came out, it would be like, okay, lady with the cards and the locks, go somewhere. So that did not happen. All right. So something to think about. How are you connecting to that intuition when it comes to partnerships, when it comes to really tapping in to relationships that are fortuitous, right? Cool. Okay. So let's see. Do we want to do headlines or... Pardon me. I've just been so thirsty lately. Poems or... Yeah, let's just do poems. We'll keep the same exact format from yesterday because it was cool. I'm on my iPad. I'm just going to do what I did yesterday. So basically, for anyone who watches this playback, last episode 11, I just went and pulled the poem of the day. For the uninitiated, it is National Poetry Month. And so I want to bring more of my literary sensibilities to this space. Actually, Sunday, I'm going to be reading from my work. I'll do an episode in the afternoon. So I'll mention it again this episode, and then I'll do like a quick ad. But yeah, I want to read my words. So that's coming up. Let's see. Poem. Yeah, so it is National Poetry Month. All April. And let's see what we got here. Oh, this looks like an interesting one. This poet is named Ellen Hinsey, and her poem is called Epistle. Epistle? Can't pronounce today. Epistle. When the sky darkens with alabaster and mahogany, storm and wood smoke, and the swirling gyres of unpredictability reign, when the granite laws are brutally enacted, when the judges receive the verdict from on high and, as of old, close their ears to the truth, when the soup is meager, the fruit of the vine bitter and premature, and the burden of the cardinal virtues weighs heavily upon your shoulders. When the balm of distance recedes before your steps at nightfall, when injurious deeds do not trouble the holders of the iron keys, when the sunset blinds the eyes with blood and vengeance, and the will of the tyrant is unrelenting, your trials descending upon your shoulders with the force of a storm that rides upon the barbed, jagged hills. In those hours, my brothers, my sisters, I know you have grown weary. I know that even ancient words do not provide the solace for your rocky path. But take heart in the pale light that flashes over the dark mountains. Steady your hearing to an inner music. Wait with impatience. Wait with mercy. Ooh, I like that. Oh, wow. Check that out, folks. Ellen Hinsey, Epistle. Pistol. Or is it Epistle? Epistle. That pronunciation thing is going to bother me. Here's the thing. Her punctuation is complicated here. They have a version of her reading it. I would love to hear where she pauses and stops and starts. And then some of the lines are expanded, so there's more white space in between the words. So I don't think I was hitting the cadence correctly, but I really like this, right? Look at that last stanza. Steady your hearing to an inner music. Wait with impatience. Wait with mercy. Nice. Nice. Okay. Let's do one more. Okay. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of a hunting and pecking here because the first thing that they have listed, I'm kind of not feeling the title. Okay, excuse me. Like I said, crumbs stuck in my mouth. Probably should have. Before I got on camera. My bad. Classer. Okay. All right. Oh, this one's a bit different subject wise, but this is what appealed to me on the Poetry Foundation's website. Okay. So this is called America, America by Saadi Youssef. America, America. God save America, my home sweet home. We are not hostages, America, and your soldiers are not God's soldiers. We are the poor ones. Ours is the earth of drowned gods, the gods of bulls, the gods of fires, the gods of sorrows that intertwine clay and blood and song. We are the poor. Ours is the God of the poor who emerges out of farmers' ribs, hungry and bright, and raises heads up high. America, we are the dead. Let your soldiers come. Whoever kills a man, let him resurrect him. We are the drowned ones, dear lady. We are the drowned. Let the water come. Oh, yes, we got fire today. Woo! I like that too. America, America by Saadi Youssef. Wow, cool. So that is our poetry section of today. Yeah, it's been a while since I've let poetry feed me. I need to be more mindful of that. All right. Now I'm going to look up some headlines. I'm going to look up the headlines like this because this shit is out of control. What is going on in this world, in this country? All right. Pray for us. Let's see how bad it is today. Let's see how long have I been on here? 23 minutes. Okay, so Trump trial still going. That's the whole freaking homepage is Trump. Okay. Okay. All right. No! Okay. Supreme Court signals Trump's January 6th trial could be delayed until after the election. Okay. Okay. So this is as of 2:46 on CNN, so it should be fairly current. Let's see how bad it is. Like I said, like that. All right. What you need to know. The Supreme Court appears ready to reject former President Donald Trump's claims of sweeping immunity in the federal election subversion case, but also signaled during oral arguments Thursday that his trial could be delayed until after the November election. So my friends really know how I feel about this. They waited too late to get this started. These special prosecutors and stuff like that. And again, I'm not a legal scholar, so I could be talking out of my ass. There could be like very sincere holdups, but I really feel like because of the gravity of the charges, why wasn't the DOJ like 6 months into the Biden administration like, okay, like just popping, or maybe they were. Like, it just feels like stuff really started to coalesce last year, and it just feels like, okay, it's 2023. There's no way that you all are going to be able to get convictions before the election. So this is what it is, and it's just, I don't know, it doesn't look great. Anything else from this? Yeah, excuse me. See, yeah, headlines, they bring down the vibe, yo. Appear to be reluctant to green light. Oh, okay. The justices appeared reluctant to greenlight special counsel Jack Smith's case against Trump before sending it back to the lower courts to sort out some of the complicated issues at play. Okay. So I'm just giving the cliff notes here, top line. So here's what that sounds like to me, as a person with civic interest, but less civic knowledge. All right, here's how it sounds. It sounds like they're like, listen, if you're going to bring this case to us, we want it in its purest form, like a yes, no, up, down thing. And so they are sending it back to the lower courts to pare like the nuance away from it, to pare like the complications away from it. That's what it sounds like, because the justices don't want to seem political, right? Because any decision that they make, whether Trump has immunity, which, they'll be branded a particular way, or if he doesn't have immunity, they'll be branded a particular way by either side of the aisle. So that's probably why they want to like do this back and forth for this like performative idea of impartiality, which we know they don't have because they take too many kickbacks from donors and they get flued out. Yeah. Looking at you, Mr. Thomas. So yeah, that's what that looks like to me. Anywho, other headlines. Let's do like maybe two more and then we'll shut this down. Like the whole page is Trump. Let's say mainstream media, they love that, because if all the headlines are Trump, it just send their interns or whoever to like farm these random articles. You don't actually have to put any thought into anything. Oh, the market's down. Oh, and Harvey Weinstein. I saw that first thing this morning. Oh, okay. So we'll look at the market quickly, and we'll look at Harvey Weinstein, and we don't need to talk about anything after that. Like, what the hell is going on? Okay. Okay, so I am on CNBC. Says Dow drops more than 300 points on inflation and growth concerns. Meta drags S&P 500 lower. Live updates. Excuse me. Sorry, it's just waiting for it to load. Okay. All right, so here's the article. Stocks tumbled on Thursday after the latest U.S. economic data showed a sharp slowdown in growth and pointed to persistent inflation. I thought inflation was being minimized. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, when jobs numbers and stuff come out, people are so, desperate for a positive story on the economy, they, in my opinion, they overstate the wins and they understate the losses. So that way, when you get actual negative news, by that point, people are so desensitized from the lying, they don't even want to be bothered anymore. Okay. So, oh, okay. So, I'm sorry, my iPad is frozen. That sucks. It's not letting me scroll. All right. Okay, now I can scroll. It says it slid 385 points, or went down by 1%. So that's a lot, right? Because one thing that I know, since 2008, these gains and losses, the margin is very, very narrow. There's really not that much of a buffer for the Fed to play with in terms of interest rates and things like that. So yeah, a 1% contraction is a big deal for a lot of companies. And then it says weighed down by steep declines in Caterpillar, IBM. Okay. Yeah, and that is a problem, right? Caterpillar, the big yellow construction trucks. So when they're down, that means that real estate, construction projects and stuff like that, no, people are not building the way they used to. And then IBM, probably as a tech indicator, meaning tech is contracting. That market is contracting as well. What else do we have here? Consumer prices increased at a 3.4% pace. Yo, I forgot to mention. So last week, it was just like, I was really, really hungry. And I was like, oh God, I can't like use my card right now, but I got $20. I was in Jersey. I stopped at one of the rest areas and I was like, okay, let's just go to Burger King. I paid almost $18 for a Big Mac meal. That hurt my feelings. She was like, oh, it's $17.85. And I went, oh, here. Like, I thought it was going to be $15 and that I'd have $5 the next day to like get me a coffee. No. I paid almost $20 for a Big Mac meal. The consumer price index up 3.4%. I'm feeling it totally. Okay. This raised concern over the persistent inflation and put into question whether the Federal Reserve will be able to cut rates anytime soon. They have us jammed up badly. Okay, and then I'm going to get off this article. It says there's a tech tumble, which I know I have like a couple of friends that like work at Meta and some other places. They've definitely been mentioning that stuff is pulling back. Okay, so when is Q2 over? So February, March, April, May, June. Okay. Yeah. So there might be a round of layoffs around Memorial Day, so that way companies can make their numbers for the end of Q2, because that's all anybody cares about. All right. So for people who, myself included, for people who want to stay employed through the end of Q2, I'm going to pray for you and pray for myself. God bless. All right. Harvey Weinstein. Okay, so I'm going to go to USA Today. I'm not going to go to the New York Times because sometimes I hit the paywall, sometimes I don't. I do have an account attached through a couple of different places because I'm an academic, but I don't feel like logging in right now. So, all right. So it says Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction overturned by New York appeals court. Like, wow. A New York appeals court has overturned embattled Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction after finding that the judge for the trial handed down improper rulings. The case, which helped galvanize the Me Too movement and spurred a reckoning in the entertainment industry, was part of a wave of allegations against the 72-year-old movie mogul. There are some people who are very unpopular in our society, but we still have to apply the law fairly to them. Weinstein's attorney, Arthur Adala, said during a press conference after the decision. And in this courthouse behind us at that trial, the law was not applied fairly to Harvey Weinstein. The world's smallest freaking violin over here. All right. A weeks-long landmark trial. I just want to know why they did this. The New York Appeals Court said in a written opinion Thursday that the judge in Weinstein's 2020 case, James Burke, admitted testimony from women with allegations that were not a part of the case, known as the Molyneux witnesses, but rather irrelevant, prejudicial, and untested allegations of prior bad acts. Okay, so they're saying that they were piling on, like, oh, these are just the allegations of the people he raped in the hotel. These are not the allegations of the people that he raped in the office, right? So I guess they put the people he raped in the office and the people he raped in the hotel together. And they're saying, hold on, this was only for the people he raped in the hotel. So get the other rape victims out of here. They're irrelevant. Did I miss something? That's what that sounds like. Okay, moving on. This elocution error was exacerbated when the judge ruled that the former Hollywood producer could be cross-examined regarding these allegations and others which depicted Weinstein in a prejudicial light. Okay, so we're going to stop there. Okay, so now that this went through, I would say that actually, it seems like it helps Diddy. Sorry. You know his lawyers are going to be using that somehow to say, hey, listen, they piled up on this guy. It got overturned. They're piling up on my client. I'm going to put this away. I don't even want to go through it. I don't feel like intellectualizing that. All right. So we live another day to fight the good fight. And thanks to anybody that joins me on the replay, whether on Instagram or on YouTube. Same name, The Composite with Deanne Battle. And this has been Season 3, Episode 12. Have a great rest of your day.